Welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Stella Inameti. The headlines. Federal government pledges continuous commitment to infrastructure. Begins reconstruction of 164-kilometer section 2 of Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Road. Presidency disclaims Tinubu-Shettima 2027 campaign billboards nationwide, cites breach of law. House of Representatives sets up 19-man ad hoc committee to monitor implementation of state of emergency in Rivers State. Plateau State Governor Gabriel Mutfwang visits attacked Bokos communities, promises to tackle insecurity and resettle victims. Thanks again for joining us. Let's now start with infrastructure. The federal government has pledged the commitment to improving road infrastructure across the country for the socio-economic benefits of Nigerians. President Tinubu, represented by the Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani, was speaking at the flag-off of the reconstruction of 164-kilometer Section 2 of the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Road. Kenneth Nanem reports that the rallying point was in Jere Council area of Kaduna State.
The 700-kilometer Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Road is designed to be reconstructed using the concrete pavement technology that guarantees durability of the road project. President Bola Tinubu, represented by Kaduna State Governor Uba Sani, re-emphasized the commitment of the federal government towards infrastructural development, especially those that directly impact the lives of citizens, in line with his campaign promises.
When completed, the road will serve as a catalyst for economic growth, creating job opportunities, and significantly enhancing the social, economic, cultural, and political landscape of our communities.
Works Minister David Umahi, who provided more insight on the project, which has sections 1, 2, and 3, explains that the sum of 525 billion naira has been earmarked for the completion of section 2, which is the Abuja-Kaduna Azix. The project, the minister explains, is expected to be delivered within 14 months, having been re-awarded to InfoQuest Construction Company.
At the beginning of section 1, which is between Kogi State and Abuja, the president has also added another 10 kilometers of road to it. He has also added about 11 kilometers at the Kano section of the road to take the road to the Aminu Kano International Airport. And that work is going on now, together with the remaining section in Kano State. From the Abuja down to Kano, the entire road, the president also directed that there should be solar light throughout.
This is one of the economic corridor of northern Nigeria. This is a connector of the entire north. And Mr. President is highly committed on this road.
Others who applauded the federal government initiative say upon completion, the roads will reactivate more economic activities in the central and the northern parts of the country and beyond. Kenneth Nanem, NTA News.
And to agriculture now, Jigawa State has launched its 2025 rice production program, targeting an annual output of 3.6 million tons. The initiative, held in Auyo local government area of the state, had the governor, Umar Namadi, saying will support 58,500 farmers across the state. Mohammed Musa Askira reports.
The program was officially kicked off in Jauro village, Awe local government, with input allocations based on beneficiaries' farm sizes, with 58,500 beneficiaries receiving direct support across the state. Stakeholders, including RIFAN and other farmer associations, commended Governor Umar Namadi for his continued investments in agriculture to boost the state's economy. The governor highlighted that over the past 20 months, more than 6,000 tons of fertilizer and large numbers of subsidized farm inputs have been distributed, aiming to expand cultivated land from 200,000 to 500,000 hectares by 2030. To aid irrigation, 20,000 water pumps, 10,000 solar-powered and 10,000 conventional have been provided. The farmers, grouped in 1,170 clusters, will be supported with 1,700 extension workers providing technical guidance for the farmers across the state. Each of these extension agents have received one motorcycle each to improve mobility and farmer training efforts.
Within our overall vision of the agricultural transformation agenda, our goal for this program is to increase dry season rice production from the current 200,000 hectares to about 500,000 hectares by 2030, and ultimately cultivate 1.2 million hectares annually, expected to contribute at least 3.6 million metric tons to Nigerian rice supply system. Rice value chain development connects with our rice mechanization initiative, which aims to significantly alleviate drudgery and boosting crop yield and profitability, among others.
These efforts, stakeholders believe, will revolutionize the Jigawa economy for the better and improve the living standards of people in the state. From Duty, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
The federal government has been commended for continuous intervention in road projects and infrastructure development nationwide under the Renewed Hope agenda. Ayodeji Makinde reports on the Umuahia Ikot-Ekpene Road project, which continues to gain federal government attention.
The Umuahia Ikot-Ekpene Road, a 49-kilometer project awarded in 2019 and reactivated in 2025 by the Tinubu administration, is a deliberate intervention in infrastructural development along the axis. While work is ongoing at different portions, all Progressives Congress stalwart and a member of the 8th and 9th Assembly, Sam Onuigbo, in a parley with the media in Abuja, expressed his disappointment, with publications and media platforms misleading Nigerians that the project has been abandoned.
And for the federal government to approve on 3rd of February 2025, 14.37 billion for the same road means that the road has not been abandoned. I don't see any reason why somebody should make an attempt to demarcate, what the federal government is doing.
A road that is under construction cannot be an abandoned road if there is evidence that work is still going on.
Onuigbo cautioned key actors in the political arena to avoid inciting and misleading messages that can heat up the polity. He notes that this road, which connects Abia, Akwa Ibom, Rivers and Cross River states, when completed, will contribute to national economy. In Abuja, Ayodeji Makinde, NTA News.
The presidency says it has observed with dismay the increasing number of billboards in some cities promoting the 2027 campaign for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima. Worth noting is that some of these billboards with pictures of the president and his wife, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, are springing up in Abuja and Kano in particular. A statement by Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, says while President Tinubu and Vice President Shettima greatly appreciate their teaming and loyal supporters across the country for their enthusiasm and continuing support, the two leaders do not support any campaign that breaches the laws of the land. The electoral law that guides the conduct of elections and political campaigns forbids any form of campaign for the 2027 general elections. The statement notes that as law-abiding leaders, President Tinubu and Vice President Shettima do not support any action that undermines the nation's institutions and the electoral process until the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, sets the timetable for the 2027 election, the president has not endorsed or authorized anyone or any group to mount a 2027 campaign for him through any media channel, be it out of home, print, digital, radio, or television. The presidency therefore urgently call on individuals and groups funding this 2027 political campaign through the ongoing deployment of materials on billboards nationwide to cease immediately. The All Progressives Congress APC critical stakeholders in Borno have passed vote of confidence on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his Vice President Kashim Shettima, and Governor Babagana Zulum, as they stressed need for unity among critical stakeholders and party loyalists. This was part of the communique issued at the end of the critical stakeholders meeting held at the Government House, Maiduguri. Mohammed Goni reports.
Critical stakeholders meeting chaired by Governor Babagana Umar Zulum brought together former governor and deputy governors, past and present members of national and state assemblies, APC leadership of Borno instruction at national, state and local government levels, past and present government appointees and party loyalists. Governor Zulum and other stakeholders at the meeting believed that it was early for partisan politics, stressing that what the state rising from the ashes of insurgency needs at this material time was to focus on providing governance and dividends of democracy to the citizenry.
Borno State under my watch have clearly demonstrated the act of democratic governance that touches on the lives of the common man.
Nobody across the country expected that Borno would be where we are. We have become the reference state.
The 10-point communique issued at the end of the meeting expressed total and unalloyed loyalty and support to the federal government of Nigeria under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and also endorsed the renewed hope agenda of Tinubu administration. The meeting also commended the commitment of the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, to the mandate of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, calling on the Vice President to remain loyal to his boss and continue to serve diligently to promote the laudable policies of Mr. President. The meeting prayed for Mr. President to retain Senator Kashim Shettima as his Vice President for his second term, and also expressed total confidence in the administration of Governor Babagana Umar Zulum, and charged him not to be distracted in his noble campaign of recovering Borno from the shackles of insurgency, terrorism, and criminality, among others. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
In the meantime, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu received a State Department representative from President Donald Trump's administration, Masad Bolos, Senior Advisor for Africa, on Thursday in Paris. The meeting focused on developing a strategic economic and security partnership between Nigeria, Africa, and the United States, anchored on mutual respect, prosperity, and regional stability. The U.S. State Department representative conveyed President Trump's strong interest in deepening direct engagement with Nigeria as a cornerstone of U.S. relations with Africa. A statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Strategy and Communication, Bayo Onanuga, says the U.S. wants to work closely with President Tinubu to expand American investment in Nigeria and Africa, support energy and infrastructure development, and align trade and job creation efforts. Both sides discussed actionable support and shared their perspectives on regional peace, particularly in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo and across the Sahel. President Trump's advisor recognized Nigeria's regional and continental leadership and supported President Tinubu's interventions to stabilize key African regions. The House of Representatives has named a 19-man ad hoc committee of lawmakers to monitor implementation of the state of emergency in Rivers State. House spokesman Akin Rotimi says the ad hoc committee, chaired by House Leader Julius Ihonvere, with Minority Whip Ali Issa as deputy chairman, will ensure that governance in Rivers State remains within the bounds of constitutionalism and the rule of law. This development underscores the resolve of the House of Representatives to uphold the supremacy of the Constitution and ensure that the extraordinary measures during the emergency period remain subject to legislative oversight, guided by transparency, accountability, and the best interest of the good people of Rivers State. This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. More reports after this break. Stay with us.
Celebrate Ramadan with Bafi and enjoy up to 40% off on selected products from living room, dining room, bedroom, and royal sets. Pay less, save more, and refresh your home for iftar gatherings and cherished moments with family and friends. Visit our showrooms in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu, or shop online to enjoy our exclusive Ramadan sale. Let's make this Ramadan unforgettable.
Thanks for staying with us. African Union's Commissioner on Political Affairs, Peace and Security, Bankole Adeoye, has been asked by diplomats to strive in upholding the ideals of patriotism, diplomacy and Africa's integrity. Garba Natala reports that this was the consensus at the re-elected AU Commissioner as hosted by Nigeria's permanent representative to ECOWAS on a working dinner in Abuja.
It was a gratifying moment attended by a cream of ambassadors within the West African region to appreciate the Nigerian government for endorsing Ambassador Bankole, who was re-elected for a second term as African Union Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security. The confidence reposed in him speaks volumes about his capacity to ensure continuity in AU's agenda.
We have the best candidate for this position, which was why even in the first term, almost 52 countries voted for him. And on this occasion, he won at the first ballot.
We all know who he is as a person. He has been an astute diplomat, somebody who knows his onion very well in the art of diplomacy.
A paper was presented on the theme, African and Global Shifts in Governance, Peace, Security, a compelling agenda for AU and ECOWAS legacy solutions, where Bankole Adeoye assures that during his tenure, both institutions will open new frontiers.
The world is also in a different emerging world. The threats are compounding, and the most important thing is for Africa to unite and stand behind the African Union together. This is where Nigeria continues to play the leadership role in the African Union.
We have a responsibility to help ourselves. And interestingly enough, the continent itself is well endowed. Anywhere you look at, is it Nigeria? Or is it the Congo that has not enjoyed peace since independence?
We wish to once again reiterate our unallowed commitment to working closely with the AU, in particular, who is a great son of our region.
No doubt, recognition brings a call for even more challenging work, as they say. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Natala, NTA News.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tuga says the Association of Retired Career Ambassadors of Nigeria will continue to recognize hard work and humility as key to success in nation building and promoting Nigeria's global standing. The minister underscored this while honoring some of Nigeria's finest diplomats in collaboration with the Association of Retired Career Ambassadors of Nigeria. Again, Garba Natala reports.
Yusuf Tuga, represented by the Charge d'Affaires to Netherlands, Ambassador Remi Olujide, and the head of civil service, who the Foreign Affairs Permanent Secretary also represented, were quick to note the laudable efforts of Nigerian diplomats in nurturing Nigeria's foreign policy home and abroad, as well as highlighted the plight of retired diplomats.
The Honorable Minister asked me to mention that the ministry will continue to support you, not only for the points already made, but because you remain bridge builders, as well as nation builders.
Your experiences, insights, and counsels remain critical to improving our civil service and diplomatic engagements.
Based on mentorship, dedication, determination, and excellence, they underlined the importance of continuity and memory in nation building.
To families of those being honored posthumously, know it today that your parents remain among our best and brightest.
Simultaneously in Abuja and Lagos, 12 diplomats were honored. Their citations show a group of personalities who are committed to national development. Among the departed honored are late Ambassador Isa Wali, Ambassador Edward Aina, Ambassador Aliu Kapinta, and other retired diplomats.
To recognize my contribution to the progress of the Nigerian diplomatic service is something that I'm proud of.
In 2025, and they're still recognizing the things he did. So, it's good to have such recognition and to belong to such a family. It's an honor.
Family members and relations graced the occasion to identify with the diplomatic community. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Atala, NTA News.
Now to security issues. As part of efforts to build confidence and mutual trust in the people, Governor Caleb Mutfwang has visited the attacked communities of Boka's local government area to conduct an on-the-spot assessment for necessary intervention. Ijoma Ozoimena has details.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang, in company of top government officials, visited the attacked communities and internally displaced camps in Bokos and Mangu local government areas, where he encouraged victims not to be deterred by the past but to put it behind them and move on. While addressing youths, the governor urged them to always be vigilant and report suspicious movements to security agencies for action.
By the grace of God, we will do all we can to ensure that these people return to their villages. Not only will they return, we will make adequate arrangements this year by God's grace that they will return to cultivate their farms.
Governor Mutfwang commended President Bola Tinubu for his prompt intervention in defense of the state at all times, particularly in terms of security and relief materials. In all the places visited, the governor preached peace and unity as bedrocks of any form of defense in any community.
I was not particularly attacked, and the list for appropriate action, sir.
Governor Mutfwang directed security forces to collaborate with community leaders and other stakeholders for peace in Jos. Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
The governor of Bayelsa State, Duoye Diri strategic security model tag Safer Together is having positive impact on critical infrastructural development in the state and is positioning the state for national economic prospects. Technical advisor on communication and strategy to the governor of Bayelsa State, Evarada Abednego Don, in a statement highlighted the achievement, saying the governor paddled good governance through peace, law and order, inclusivity, accountability and political tolerance. This, he says, culminated in the governor bagging the Vanguard Publishers Award for Good Governance. The Yes Diri movement, he says, is also an organic solidarity that is uncommon among the people of the state. More so, the governor's triangular developmental paradigm of operation has also placed Bayelsa State on the world map, with investors showing interest. It's still the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Stay tuned for more reports. We'll be back in a moment.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their social economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, 1 person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, one person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary healthcare center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Key players driving Nigeria's health system have emphasized that a resilient primary healthcare system in Nigeria can cater for treatment of about 70% of the country's disease burden and will undoubtedly guarantee better population health outcomes, while national agenda on health has continued to evolve around building a resilient and affordable quality healthcare for all. Oluseyi Adiagbo in this background report x-rays the nation's revitalization efforts on primary healthcare centers to handle outbreak of diseases and general services, especially maternal and child's healthcare.
The Week 12 epidemiological report of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention (NCDC) confirmed 85 deaths from meningitis in 22 states across the country. In global healthcare, prevention measures such as vaccines and surveillance have always been game changers, rewriting the story of diseases that ravaged humanity and stole the lives of millions. Here in Nigeria, we are making history. The country's efforts to emergency response and disease management, such as the Ebola and COVID-19 experience, have come with lessons learned, ensuring gains are sustained. The renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu on health has also been driving series of investments and new health innovations towards optimizing care and bridging existing gaps.
The federal government is very committed to ensuring that Nigerians, particularly those who are afflicted by diseases like HIV, TB and malaria, continue to receive the care they need. And it is in that direction that the President provided for in 2025 resources for us to begin to meet the gap. The gap is there, but we are stepping up because we have the responsibility to take care of the health of Nigerians. And BHCPF is one line item for the primary healthcare platform.
These are mothers and their children inside the Akpo Abasi BHC Center, Calabar Ward 2 in Cross River State.
The staff strength here is low, and as such, you can be on duty alone. And so when you have a woman in labor, to see that side of the vagina, for you to see and do the exact thing that you're supposed to do, you have to either put your phone inside your mouth and hold it to view well.
Solarization of even the state co store that is giving the vaccines to every local government. You find out that we spend a lot of money on diesel when we have power shortage.
While logistics have caused shortage of vaccines in this center, some other PHC's facilities, mostly at the hard-to-reach areas in Nigeria, have some limitations threatening vaccine potency. With the US AIDS exit and diminishing donor support, impacting vaccine financing, drivers of immunization programs have been speaking on more commitment to drive a sustainable immunization financing framework.
And I'm really grateful to the federal government, for making sure that vaccines get to all those that need them. And it starts from purchasing the vaccine. 2023 immunization vaccine budget fully paid for. 25% of 2024, government has brought it out. But now, with the emergency at hand, it has become imperative that the balance for that 2024, let's not play with it. Let's bring it out and buy the vaccines that are needed for Nigerians. Also, 2025 is there.
Beyond government, for sustainability, it must be also about the people. It must be private sector coming in. It must be an all-comers thing.
Though it is a unanimous opinion that Nigeria is not where it should be in the health sector, there are improvements, especially with recent investments, and the call to action is for a stronger collaboration among key players in the healthcare value chain towards achieving the desired healthcare goals. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Taraba State has been identified to have the highest HIV prevalence in Nigeria. Director General NACA, Dr. Temitokpe Ilori, disclosed this during the inauguration of Mother-to-Child Transmission and Pediatric HIV Acceleration Committee in Jalingo, the Taraba State capital. Godwin Inaligu reports.
Statistics from the National Agency for the Control of AIDS reveal that there is an estimated 170,000 children under 14 living with HIV in 2021, with 26,000 new infections and 17,000 AIDS-related deaths in children. The records also indicate that Taraba State has the highest prevalent cases of HIV in the country. It is to ensure drastic reduction of new infections before 2030 that the prevention of mother-to-child transmission has been committed to expanding its services to vulnerable locations by providing antenatal care, as well as prioritize testing for children and adults living with HIV who are on antiretroviral therapy. This informed the inauguration of the Pediatric HIV Acceleration Committee by the Director General, National Agency for the Control of AIDS, Dr. Temitokpe Ilori, in Taraba State.
A lot has been done or is being done, to reduce the prevalence of HIV infection in the state. But we say we need to accelerate, we need to increase the tempo, we need to do more, particularly at the state level.
Stakeholders at the event expressed their commitment to work together to ensure the success of the committee to meet the 2030 target.
Improve community engagement and ultimately close the gaps in pediatric HIV case identification.
I want to see how the state government are going to take the lead to ensure that test kits, because if the first entering aspect of it is the testing.
The National Agency for the Control of AIDS was established in 2000 to coordinate various activities of HIV/AIDS in the country. In Jalingo, Godwin Inalegu, NTA News.
And in other matters, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has reaffirmed commitment to repositioning Imo State through economic development, safe and secure environment and employment of youths. The governor emphasized this at an interactive session with journalists in Lagos. Diana Ajali reports.
That have occurred since year 2020, following Governor Hope Uzodinma's assumption of office, are evident. From the renovation of the Imo State Government House, construction and rehabilitation of 120 roads in various local government areas across the state, to increment of civil servants' salaries.
Today I was challenged that I didn't contest the election to come and stay outside my house. So I moved it from the guest study where I stayed, I recovered the office, recovered the governor's lodge, started cleaning up the compound, and that was how now I had an office. We will prioritize the roads network, identify the major economic address that will create an economy for my people.
For Vanguard News, the governor's transformative efforts is worth celebrating. This has earned him Governor of the Year in Infrastructure.
So thank the people of Imo State. So we dedicate Almighty God and to humanity.
Highlighting the achievements, Hope Uzodimma says all is set for the people of Imo State to start experiencing uninterrupted electricity supply, more integration of Imo youths into governance and other benefits. While commending the transformative mindset, boldness and courageous leadership approach of President Bola Tinubu, Hope Uzodimma noted the need to boost local agricultural production to mitigate the hike in food prices and other commodities in the country.
Consumer protection should be strengthened. And then let the prices of goods and commodities be market-based. Government must also be encouraged to support food security by encouraging our own production.
Governor Hope Uzodimma is optimistic that if Nigerians cooperate and work with the current administration, the nation will move faster to the greater heights everyone is looking forward to. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Kano State government says it will continue to invest in education, health and other critical sectors that will uplift the lives of citizens. Governor Abba Kabiru Yusuf stated this shortly after being honored with a Good Governance Award by the Vanguard newspapers at a ceremony held in Lagos. Abdullahi Mustafa has the details.
It was a memorable occasion for Governor Abba Kabiru Yusuf, his cabinet, political associates and well-wishers as he was inducted into the Vanguard newspapers Hall of Fame. Recognized alongside 6 other governors and notable Nigerians, Governor Yusuf was acknowledged for his commitment to institutionalizing good governance in Kano State. The publishers of the National Daily identified his achievements in the education and health sectors as reasons behind his selection for the award. For Governor Yusuf, the honor serves not just as recognition but as a renewed call to action.
I never expected, I never paid for it, I never lobbied for it. So it came to me as a surprise and it justifies what we have been doing for the good people of the state.
From Lagos, the governor journeyed to Marrakesh, where he received the African Good Governance Award conferred by African Heritage Magazine in recognition of his visionary leadership. Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
Nasarawa state government is repositioning youths in the state not only to be empowered and self-reliant, but to be part of efforts to build an economically viable state. Governor Abdullahi Sule said this at the graduation of first batch of 50 out of the 3,500 youth earmarked for the 5-day Masters of Business on the Streets Empowerment Program. Aliu Tijani reports.
US-based private firm which train youth on various skills. Governor Sule commended the selection process of the beneficiaries in the first phase of the training. As he says, more youth in the state will benefit from the initiative. The training is carried out in more than 98 countries as the organizers rate Nasarawa State high.
Our hope and expectation is to see our youth and women becoming more prosperous and self-dependent for a better Nasarawa State. Let me at this juncture urge our participants to ensure that you utilize the opportunities availed to you by the facilitators, organization and the state government to explore in your various chosen businesses.
The graduates of the training program were trained on savings culture, planning, the act of community service, and other elements that are required for a successful businesses, just as they will be given grant to support their businesses initiatives.
We were taught on how to become a better entrepreneur, how to move from poverty to prosperity. Before this program, I had worked hard to buy and sell, but I now understand better how to run a successful business.
The 50 graduates of Master of Business Streets spread across the 13 local governments of the state and across different areas of educational qualification, says the 5-day training have accorded them the opportunity to learn new trends for a successful business. In Lafia, Aliu Tejani, NTA News.
Now, with the use of social media on the rise, there is also an increase in the positive and negative results. However, with Nigerian youths leveraging social media influencing, experts are advocating policies that would not only publicize social media, but also prioritize transparency, authenticity, and ethical practices. Adejoke Odeka completes the story.
Just like any innovation, social media has both positive and negative results. Over the years, there have been calls from some quarters in various countries for the ban of social media, especially among youths. This, they say, is a step in the right direction to curb the abnormalities inherent in the use of social media. However, it is worthy of note that there are young adults who employ the use of social media to impact lives. What is the impact of social media in the lives of Nigerian youths?
It has negative and positive impact depending on how they are used.
We see the likes of the content creators out there today, students, entrepreneurs making use of social media as a great tool to expand their businesses.
The tide has turned indeed, as Nigerian youths are leveraging social media to connect, share information, as well as impact lives through advocating social change, raising funds for medical bills, supporting small businesses, assisting victims of violence, and more.
Social media has done a lot of good. And some of the advantages a lot of us can relate with. For example, social media creates connection, helps communication.
We need a much more specific and robust policy that would support the growth of positive activities on social media, like people that do content, useful content. There has to be social media content standards, and this process has to be digitized.
For the people who use social media for the greater good, it is expected that the act would inspire others into doing same. More so, shift the focus from the negative impacts and amplify the productive ones. In Lagos, Adejoke Odeka, NTA News.
The importance of national unity, giving back to society and impacting positively on others was the message during the 70th birthday celebration of Senator Osuagha. Described as the epitome of selflessness and love, many of his friends and associates describe Senator Osuagha as a prime example of what the youths of today should emulate so as to imbibe core values that would project the country positively and promote unity and harmony among citizens. It was a glamorous celebration with many in attendance, a testimony to how well respected and appreciated Senator Osuagha is and the positive impact his works have had over the years. It was also a double celebration with the unveiling of his book titled Unheard Songs of a Skylark.
About unity of Nigeria, I think it's in the hands of all of us. The main thing is peace. If you understand peace, peace can never be achieved by one person. It takes two or more people to achieve peace. I think we need to understand more. Nigeria are lovely people. We love each other. We don't care about where you come. If you check the hall, they are from all sort of places.
Mr. Osuagha has impacted on the life of many of us in different ways. He is a mentor, and he is somebody that has dedicated his whole life to serving other people, to encouraging the younger generation to make sure that they do better. And he is somebody that believes in the unity of this country.
I call him an icon. He has left his indelible mark in the lives of so many of us that look up to him.
I've always known him to be a writer. I've always known him to be a poet. And he has sown so much seeds into people that write poems.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Here is a recap of our major. This continuous commitment to infrastructure begins reconstruction of 164-kilometer Section 2 of Abuja, Kaduna Zaria Kano Road. Presidency disclaims Tinubu Shetima 2027 campaign billboards nationwide, cites breach of law. House of Representatives sets up 19-man ad hoc committee to monitor implementation of state of emergency in Rivers State. Plateau State Governor visits attacked Bokos communities, promises to tackle insecurity and resettle victims. And up next is Sports Update.
Nigeria's Flying Eagles will face Tunisia, Kenya and Morocco in Group B at the 2025 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations. The draw ceremony took place at the headquarters of the Confederation of African Football (CAF) on Sunday. Ali Zubeiru's side will face Tunisia in their opening fixture of the tournament on Monday, April 28th. Hosts Egypt, South Africa, Sierra Leone, Zambia and Tanzania are in Group A. Holders Senegal are pitched in Group C with Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo and Ghana. The top 4 teams in the competition will qualify for the 2025 FIFA Under-20 World Cup to be hosted by Chile later in the year. In tennis, Carlos Alcaraz says he's proud of how he coped with a difficult month after he fought back to beat Lorenzo Musetti and win the Monte Carlo Masters. The 4-time major champion made a slow start with brilliant confidence and quality to overcome the Italian 3-6, 6-1, 6-love on the clay. It was a competitive match for a set and a half before Musetti, bidding for the biggest prize of his career, began to struggle with the leg injury. The success was his 6th ATP Masters 1000 trophy for Alcaraz, his first since Indian Wells last year, and more aggressive there on the returns overall.
A first victory at the Monte Carlo Country Club for Carlos Alcaraz.
Now, 22 Armored Brigade Ilorin, Kwara State came top at the 2025 week-long Inter-Brigade Corporals and Below competition just rounded off in Lokoja, Kogi State. Jacob Sani reports that the competition is to enhance combat readiness, proficiency and teamwork in the Nigerian Army. Here is the report.
The 5-day competition brought soldiers selected from 6 brigades in the Nigerian Army for training and subsequently contest in map reading, combat swimming, endurance race and obstacle management, among others. During the competition, in every competition, a winner must emerge.
Let me congratulate 22 brigades for coming first during the competition.
All formations shall not give breathing space for training, as the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, assures the general officers commanding Division 2.
To those who did not do so well, I urge you to strive harder and showcase a better outing in future competitions.
Commander 12 Brigade Lokoja, Brigadier General Kasim Sidi, salutes the soldiers for their courage, resilience and display of professionalism, stressing that the competition is not about trophies but skill enhancement, unity and maintaining the Army's culture of excellence.
The true essence of this gathering lies in the contribution.
Other sister security agencies at the event took the responsibility of presenting trophies to brigades and garrisons with exceptional performances at the competition.
Smart Work Sports, in conjunction with some other partners and the government, is discovering talents in the country, have restated commitment in the ability of sports as a great unifier to the diverse Nigeria's population. They made this known at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja, where the future of the beneficiaries, especially those who took part in a talent hunt event. The focus here is targeting people in the age bracket of 14 to 21 years of age.
I want to acknowledge the great job that the government and the sports ministry has done with athletes here. Even up until this point, there's a lot of worldwide known famous Nigerian athletes across multiple sports. So all I could really administer from this point is there are resources out here, specifically Smart Work Sports, for example, that can help facilitate these type of events through partnerships with foundations such as the Hilkiah, the House of Hilkiah Foundation.
Because when there's crisis, youth are the ones they use as instruments. You understand? So we didn't want that, and so we created this avenue whereby we can partner with other people, so can come in and see how they can select them and empower them. You know, even if they don't go professionally.
It's an appreciation of a life well spent, as the body of the late General Manager of NTA Osogbo, Oluwafemi Emmanuel Babalola, was laid to rest in his hometown, Omoaran, in Irepedun local government area of Kwara State. The funeral service was attended by family members, friends and staff of the Nigerian Television Authority from across the country, led by the Zonal Director, NTA Ibadan Network Center, Wahid Popola. Abdulafiz Alias report is here presented.
The Redeemed Christian Church of God, Graceland Mega Parish, Omoaran, venue of the burial service, played host to family and sympathizers from across the country who came to pay their last respect to late Oluwafemi Emmanuel Babalola. Bible readings, choir ministration and prayers for the family of the deceased characterized the funeral service. A national leader at RCCG, Pastor Olushola Agbola, in a sermon titled "Death is Gain," explained how death brings an end to human aspirations, dreams, and social interaction. According to him, only those who are born again and have Jesus in their lives will have the assurance